New reports from the U.S. Treasury Department this Money Monday about possible cuts to Social Security. Should we be worried? Well, we don't have the answers. That's why we bring in our expert, Kyle Winfield from Finley Alexander Wealth Management. He does. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How you doing?
Good, good. You often say that Social Security should not be a part of our retirement plan in general, but now to hear that it might not be a part of the equation at all, it is a little bit alarming. So just tell us what's going on.
Yeah. So, well, if you heard earlier, the U.S. Treasury's shooting out reports talking about, okay, look, we don't know. They've been telling people for a while that Social Security is going to have to start making some cuts or potential reductions, but now it's starting to look very, very real. Mm. And so when you look at that, you start to say, oh, geez, because when you think about Social Security for the majority of Americans, it makes up a very, very solid income foundation. Now, it's not going to pay all the bills, but it's something people count on. But we're learning very, very quickly, we don't have control of that. And we've had a lot of things occur collectively or compoundly to create a situation where those cuts will most likely happen. Now, I don't have a crystal ball, so hopefully they don't, but what if they do?
I'm wondering about the critics who say that this whole thing is just a fear-mongering headline and it's not really anything we need to worry about. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, I hear what they're saying, okay? And I definitely am not on here to kind of fear monger. I'm just on here saying, okay, let's address this. What if? If you think about it, the Treasury, the report coming from the Treasury says, hey, listen, we're starting at a negative, right? And then the government's spending more money. So you got to ask yourself, where's the surplus going to come from, right? Where's it going to come from? And in the end, we're going to have to tighten our belt. And I think that some of those cuts people have been fear mongering about for decades may in fact happen.
All right. So if that is the case, how do we prepare? I'm assuming step one is probably to reach out to you.
Well, actually, step one may not be to reach out to me. It might be to take a look at what you got going on. Okay, so you want to retire. First thing I'd like to point out also for everybody, retirement, in fact, is a privilege, right? Saving is a habit, and saving will save you. And to think that Social Security is going to be there, think as though it's not. And say to yourself, okay, for example, I love carrot cake, okay? You can have a really, really good carrot cake and you don't need the cream cheese icing on top. I like to teach my clients, let's look at Social Security like it's icing on the cake. If you don't have it, it doesn't mean the cake can't taste good. But so many folks depend so deeply on Social Security, but you know what? When you start looking at it, generation baby boomers, they're probably going to see a cut later on down the road. And that's got to hurt, right? Because, you're getting this much and then all of a sudden it goes to this. So What if that happens? How are you going to make up the difference? Generation Xers like me, it may be there, but it might be there in a very small amount or not at all. So we've got to think, how do we prepare for it not being there? And again, that gets back to planning, it gets back to saving, and it gets back to doing a reality check. Here's a reality check. If you save money,
yes,
and you are anticipating retiring, plan for it and plan for income. Without income, there isn't any retirement. And at the end of the day, if you didn't save enough, guess what? Keep working.
Yeah,
just keep working.
Yeah, why not? We've come this far, and we know what we need in order to survive. So you're right. You got to keep working, but keep saving so that is not an issue later on. If people need help just navigating all of this, because it does get a little overwhelming, how should they reach out to Finley Alexander Wealth Management?
So you go to our website. It's finleyalexander.com. When you get there, go to resources and then click on financial literacy. And we've got a whole bunch of different guides you can easily digest, read. And if you have additional questions, you can always reach out to us. But they definitely will help you start to form better questions to ask yourself so you can prepare in a way to have a bigger future without having to depend on something you don't control. And that something is Social Security.
All right, Kyle Winfield, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it. And we'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.